Dre all day.
Dre Baldwin, balloverseas.com, overseas basketball blueprint. The question we're going to answer in this video is, can playing semi-pro basketball help you actually play professional basketball overseas? Before I get started, if you have not yet, like, comment, and share this video. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, share. Let me know that we're giving you some game to help you play ball overseas, because as I told y'all before, this is not my main business. I don't need to be doing this, but if it's not helping y'all, then I don't need to do it. But if it is, you got to let me know. And if you're listening to this on a podcasting app, go to Apple Podcasts, leave a rating and review of the show to let me and other players know that we are the plug giving you the game for overseas ball. So all that being said, can you play professional basketball, or can you get on playing overseas basketball professionally through playing semi-pro basketball? The answer, let me give you the short answer, then I'll explain. The answer is yes, you absolutely can. Now, the reason, first of all, let's back up into what I mean when I say semi-pro basketball. And I think if you're listening to this, you have an idea what semi-pro is. That's when you play on a team that might be near wherever you live. Maybe you still live at your crib, wherever you were living at before you even got on the team, but you go play with this team. Y'all have practice maybe a few times a week, maybe not that much, maybe not really practice. Maybe I'll just get together and play pickup. I know how it can be on some of those teams, but some of the teams are run different. Every team is run differently when it comes to that level. But you have games. There's a schedule of games that you play. And y'all might travel to go to some games. Y'all might get in y'all cars. Y'all might get a bus. You might even fly to a game or two. And you play against other semi-pro teams. And these are players who are around their professional basketball age players. So we're talking about players from 18 to 40. Players who believe they're serious basketball players. Not believe, but they are serious basketball players. Players who, if they had the opportunity and the money was right, the bag was right, they would go overseas and play overseas. At the same time, these players, the reason why it's semi-pro is that it's not a professional structure, meaning the team might not provide you housing, they might not provide you any meals, they might not even be able to pay you any money, but these are players who are serious players. Like, there's a vetting process to even get on this team in the first place. You got to try out and earn your spot on this roster, so it's not like anybody could just walk in there. And maybe there is some money involved. Maybe you get a bonus for winning the game. Your team wins, you might get $50. Or maybe the team could give you $200, $300, $500 a month, something like that. But they don't provide you like housing. They're not providing you all 3 meals every day, things like that. It's not like the team is checking up on everything you do. You might still work a full-time job. You might have kids and a family that you take care of, but you still play on this team and maybe put a couple dollars in your pocket. Is it? Now, first of all, these teams have always existed. Even when I was trying to get on playing ball, and I graduated college in 2004, semi-pro basketball teams existed. I actually went to a tryout for a couple semi-pro basketball teams, and some of them didn't even make it to the season. The teams collapsed. They didn't even make it to the season happening. And there was one I went to where the first couple tryouts, there was barely anybody there. I'm talking like not even enough people to run 5-on-5 at the tryout. And then they had another tryout in a different city, and there was like 300 people there. So sometimes things can run the gamut when it comes to semi-pro basketball teams. You never know how it's going to be going. And since there is no professional structure, that's why there's such variation between one team's setup and another team's setup. Now, here in South Florida, where I live, I know there have been some semi-pro teams that actually have been, at least in their realm, very successful. Right? They're out there winning championships, and there's players playing on the teams. I haven't been to any of their games, but I've seen them on the website, and I'm looking at, I played against them, and these are guys who I believe they can play. Like, I respect their games, and I'm like, all right, these guys can play. They're just playing this right now until they can get their gig and maybe get on overseas or try out for the G League or whatever it is that they're going to do. And I've known other players who have played semi-pro ball who are guys who are older than me, guys who are younger than me, maybe the same age as me, and they played semi-pro because maybe they didn't want to go overseas because they had a situation at home. Maybe they had a wife or a family, they got kids, or they got a full-time job, some type of career that they're in, and they don't want to give that up to go travel overseas for something that might work out and might not. So there's many different reasons why somebody might choose the semi-pro basketball route. And maybe some of you right now, I hear from a lot of you players in this situation where you want to play overseas. If overseas opportunity called, you drop everything and go right now. You get on the plane yesterday. But right now that opportunity hasn't called, so you're doing the semi-pro thing until you can get the gig that you want. And some of you just want to play the semi-pro and you're good with that. And if an opportunity comes overseas, the money got to be really right in order for you to walk away from what you got going on at home in order to go over there. So I understand that there are a lot of different ways this can work. Any of you who has been thinking about semi-pro ball and you're wondering, hey, should I even try it? Is this even going to help me get to where I want to get to? Again, the answer to the question is yes. But it also, a caveat is it depends on the situation of the team that you're playing for. And this is where I get into the meat of answering this question of how semi-pro ball can actually help you play professional basketball overseas. First of all, any of you who's listened to anything I've had to say about overseas basketball, I've written 4 books about it. I got them sitting here. I'll tell you about that in a minute. You know the main thing that I always talk about for you to get on overseas is you must have proof of your ability to play at a high level. Proof meaning something you can show to another person without, not that you explain in words, telling them that you're good and that you work hard and that you really want it. Like any of you who's over the age of 21, you know that just saying that you're good is not good enough. I mean, telling a girl that you're going to treat her right and that you're a great guy is not going to get the girl to date you, right? She has to have some reason to like you other than that, right? So when it comes to professional basketball, it's the exact same thing. You got to have proof. And proof in basketball world is game film, game footage showing you playing ball and playing at a high level against other people who look like they can play too. This is why I tell people go to an exposure camp, because every exposure camp these days is going to give you footage of the games. As long as the footage is shot well and it looks high quality and you're doing your thing, then you can show out and that can help you get on. Or going to playing it in a professional level where you got footage, or if you played college ball somewhere and you did good and you got the film for that. Those are the ways that you can have proof of your game. Now, let's say you don't have any of those. You haven't been to an exposure camp, or you did, but you don't have any good footage. You haven't played overseas, and you don't have any game film from college. Maybe you didn't even play in college. Semi-pro basketball can also provide you that proof that you need of you playing at a high level against other players who at least look like they can play and you doing your thing. Now, let me tell you a couple things some little nuances about game film that are really important. And it matters when it comes to semi-pro. I'll tell you why in a minute. Is that your game footage needs to look like it was shot by somebody who knows how to shoot some damn game video. Don't have your game footage looking like somebody was holding their phone while you're playing in the game. Don't have it look like you had your girl holding her phone and just filming you as you run up and down the court. Even though that's cool, that's better than nothing. You can put that on Instagram if you dunk on somebody or somebody like that. And a professional basketball team overseas is looking at that. All right, they know what smartphones are. All right, they understand that. They hear your girl sitting there talking about what happened with the people down the street while she's filming the game. No. Do not have that. That is not going to get you on a professional basketball team. Again, it's cool if you want to post that on Facebook, but it's not going to get you on a pro basketball team. You need footage that looks like it was filmed. If it looks and feels like it was filmed by somebody who knows how to film a game, what does that have to do with you getting on the team overseas? Why does that even matter? Here's why it matters. Because if your game footage looks like it was filmed by your girl or your wife sitting in the stands holding the baby while filming you running up and down the court, then the team is looking at that like, okay, obviously the team that this guy's playing for, they can't even afford a cameraman. They can't even afford to get a good game footage set up. Therefore, these players are probably not even any good. Because if they couldn't afford a cameraman, they probably couldn't afford good players. Therefore, whoever this guy is playing against, even if you look like damn LeBron James on the court, the players that you're playing against probably ain't even any good. Because if the players in the gym were any good, they would at least get a good game film person to film these good players. You understand how that works? So it kind of understand what I want y'all to get is that these overseas teams, they might not be native English speakers, but they're not idiots. They understand how the basketball world works, and this stuff matters. And these are things that I'm not just making these up, okay? These are things that I've worked with agents. I have played for agents or had agents who are from Europe, and they've told me these things, that when they look at game film, one of the main things they look at, the first thing they look at is the quality of the film. If the film was like some cheap shit, then they're like, all right, obviously this player ain't any good, because if he was, he would have some good game film. All right, if you're good, you should have good game film. If you don't have good game film, it's probably because you're not good. If you're an actor, for example, or a comedian, or a professional speaker. I'm not an actor or comedian, but I am a professional speaker. When people want to know if they should book you for an acting gig or a comedy gig or a speaking gig, you know what they go look at? They go look to find video of you doing that thing already. You acting, speaking, or doing a comedy gig. And if your footage from your past footage, your proof, looks like some cheap ass footage, they're like, all right, obviously this person's not that good. They couldn't even afford to get good video, because if they were any good, they'd be making money and they would get a good video. They would invest in themselves and get good video. Anyone in the acting, speaking, or comedy world will tell you that. And you go ask them and let them tell you. I know it works in the professional speaking world. It's the same thing in the basketball world. So when you play semi-pro basketball, try to find a team that is well established. They've been around for some time. They've had good players come through. They got players. Go to one of their games. Go to their practices. Meet somebody on the team and look for people who can actually play. Find out if they film their games, because I'm keeping it real with you. If I was trying to play professional basketball and the semi-pro team came and offered me a deal, and I know my goal is to play overseas, my goal is not to just play semi-pro and just make a couple dollars and just get a run 2-3 times a week. I'm trying to ascend in basketball. I'm only playing on that team so I can get the game footage and I can leverage that to my next job. That's the only reason I'm playing semi-pro. I'm only playing there so I can use this as a stepping stone to get to where I want to go next. Now, you might not need to say that out loud. You might need to say the quiet part. Keep it quiet. Keep it in your head, or only talk to people who you trust that you can share that with and they feel the same way. But understand, if that's the only reason I'm doing it. But some teams who are semi-pro, they don't want players who are just trying to use them as a stepping stone, or they're not even thinking about that, or they don't even structure themselves as, look, we're here to help you get to your next level. They're looking at it like, yo, this is it. This is the deal. This is the final step for many of y'all. Many of y'all ain't going anywhere after this. So you need to know what kind of team you're getting on when you get on the team. Are you getting on a team that is looking to help you, or is okay with helping you use them as a stepping stone to your next level? Because if it is that type of team, they will have the structure. They might call in people. They might call somebody like myself or somebody from wherever you're from. And thousands of players have played overseas to come in and talk to y'all like, yo, here are the steps you need to take to play overseas. Here's what I did to get on overseas. Here's what you should expect when you go overseas. Here's how you can get your money overseas. Here's how to connect with an agent. Here are the camps you should go to. If you're on a semi-pro team that is really about helping you get to the next level, they're gonna have thought of these things ahead of time. So when you get on the club, they're letting you know, look, we know this is semi-pro. We know this ain't where you're trying to be ultimately. But here are the steps that you need to take. They will give you these things. But if you get on the semi-pro team and they're not offering this kind of stuff, it might be because they're not thinking about it, and that might be because they don't have anything to offer you. They can't give you anything to help you get to that level. So these are things that you should keep in mind if and when you're going to play semi-pro basketball. Are they offering a structure to help you in any way? And look, maybe the people who are running that team don't know anything about it. They don't have the information. They don't know the kind of stuff that I know. They haven't been in the situations that I've been in, so they really can't offer it because they don't have it. You need to find a team that does have it. Or if they don't have it, they need to at least have the one thing that you need. Because again, like I said, if I had joined a semi-pro team, and let's say they didn't have any of the structure that I just offered, they weren't telling me like, yo, this is what you need to do to play overseas, or yo, let's get you some game film, or yo, let's get you some high quality workout footage. And a lot of players ask me, can I use workout footage to get on the overseas team? The answer is generally no. But listen, if you got somebody like Steven Spielberg to shoot your workout footage and make you look like LeBron or Damian Lillard in your workout video, and it was really high quality footage, maybe it will work. But who has that? Can the team even do that? So the bare minimum you should expect from a semi-pro basketball team is to at least get the game footage that looks quality. So if you go out there and score 40 in a game, you can use that footage and maybe, just maybe, leverage an overseas team to at least give you a look. All right, that's what I would be looking for if I was trying to get on through semi-pro basketball. Through semi-pro basketball. So can semi-pro help you get on overseas? The answer is yes. I just told you how. So if you haven't yet claimed your free copy of this book, The Overseas Basketball Blueprint, I'll ship it to you worldwide, anywhere you live. I'll give you the book for free. We used to charge $50 for this book on Amazon. Right now, it's still on Amazon. I don't think it's $50, but it ain't free. You can get it free if you just go to balloverseas.com. The book is paid for. All you do is cover a small shipping charge. We'll ship it to you worldwide, anywhere you live. If you want to get the other 3 books, we call this the Overseas Blueprint Bundle. We got a book on agents right here. We got one on exposure camps and one on the business side of professional basketball. You can get all of these in a bundle if you so choose. If you just want to get the Blueprint book, this book is still free no matter what. balloverseas.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.